Is Bitcoin right now creating a fake out as we break above the falling wedge pattern? Today has been pretty volatile for Bitcoin. You can see that over the past 2 4-hourly candles, you've seen a lot of price movements go back into the falling wedge, then attempt to break out again, trying to claim as many liquidations from the market as possible. I want to explore if I think that this is a fake out or not, if Bitcoin can continue pumping to the upside. You have two red lines which are giving away most of what I'm about to talk about, but make sure that you watch until the end, because not only are we going to go into this falling wedge pattern, but we also go into macro analysis for Bitcoin, talk about seasonality, talk about September. Today's the second day of September. Jim Cramer went ahead and said that September is seasonally weak. I mean, come on. If Jim Cramer says that September is going to weak, that could be the only potential thing that causes September to end in green. So I want to cover that. We got some data coming in today, the PMI data, how that's impacted interest rates. We have blockchain published, government economic data, fabulous. We have Ethereum that we want to go into. Benjamin Cohen says that we can dump all the way down to 3.4K. Doge Treasury Company, what's up with that? Are we going to see what happened to Dogecoin in the previous altcoin season repeat in this cycle? Ondo Finance stocks coming in tomorrow. Royal Liberty financial updates, and just so much more. So make sure that you're watching until the end. And guys, if you enjoy this content, apart from watching from start to finish, because that helps the YouTube algorithm, and it gives you the most amount of context that you need to not only understand Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum, but just get a grasp on the whole crypto industry overall. That's my aim on these short update videos, to try and give you the most important information in the entire crypto industry with bite-sized content. And we do that on a daily basis here on this channel, regardless if it's a weekend or I don't know, public holiday. We come to you every single day. So if you destroy the like button and subscribe to become a crypto kid, that would be awesome. We're less than 100 subscribers away from 56,000 subscribers, which I think is pretty darn cool. We have a brand new coin flurry campaign. So this is no longer the campaign. Make sure you check the second link in the description down below to see the updated campaign. It's epic. And I will be making a dedicated tutorial video on how you can claim that bonus, which you will find on the second link in the description down below. That will happen tomorrow, most likely, so stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Falling wedge pattern, are we seeing a fake out or not? Well, look, I want to see two lines be reversed on Bitcoin until I can say bear case scenario out of the window, which I'm not saying. For me to say that, and I would love for the bear case scenario to be out of the window, because we've been long on Bitcoin since $77,000 on weeks. We've been opening so many long positions. Most of them, apart from one, is in profits. We've not only been longing Bitcoin, but we've also been longing Ethereum. We've been buying Ethereum since 1.5K. We have a few altcoin positions that are basically break even. So overall, like, we're just long. So if the price of Bitcoin goes up, I will be happy, and I don't want people to misunderstand me. If Bitcoin goes up, I will be happy. But to discourage a bear case scenario at this moment in time with the current breakout that we're seeing, I don't think it makes sense. When it will make sense, I think it will make sense if Bitcoin breaks above initially the 12.1, 12.2 level. That will invalidate the double top structure we've experienced on the 4-hourly and daily timeframes. That double top still has a target at $100,000, even below the 54 simple moving average. So we have to break above 12.1. And the second most important level is going over the 13.1K level. And what that's going to do is, if Bitcoin goes above that, ideally you want to go a few $100s above it, you'll have the opportunity to create a higher high, reversing this bearish downtrend that's been happening over the past few weeks. And hopefully you can reverse that downtrend into a bullish uptrend. Actually, like, if you look at it now from the daily time frame perspective as well, until you go over the CME gap, that's still open at 16.8, and even the spot price at $17,000, you're still technically in a downtrend. And I want to see these breakouts to have more and more confidence that we will escape those downtrends, but we have to at least minimum go over 12.1, 13.1, and even ideally, like, you want to go over 17.5, go above the all-time high, and then you can say, yep, the probabilities of us going to 135 and beyond have increased substantially. But so far, bear case scenario still remains to be the primary thoughts and the thought process. If you go to Consensio flipping bearish, we spoke about that on the previous video, so I won't dig into it so much. Bull and bear market support hit as we predicted on this channel, if we lose it, we know the drill. 54 simple moving average. We're still holding. Our stop losses are in place for our Bitcoin positions in the event that Bitcoin decides to fake out and come to the downside. Stop losses are set. They're there. If you want to trade, you can also trade like us here on the on the Cryptic channel. I'm mixing the channels now. If you wish to do so, of course, you can go to the first link in the description down below to get up to $30,000 in bonuses when you sign up with the first link down below. That's the Bitcoin outlook. We have entered the fear zone. So Bitcoin has entered the fear zone. It's not enough fear for me to say, okay, Bitcoin has bottomed. I would ideally want to see Bitcoin in the 20s and 30s to say, you know what, buy, in my opinion, and I would be doing it myself. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. So there's no need to sound the siren for buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. We're not in that elevated fear zone. Of course, September is historically the worst performing month for Bitcoin. You're down on average negative 3.27%. Can it be different this time? It can, right? It can always be different, especially now that, jokes aside, Jim Cramer went and said that September is seasonally weak. Like, you know, that gives a fairly good chance that perhaps September is not going to be bearish. I don't know. I think it's not so important to focus on the seasonality, and it's more important to focus on the technical analysis. That would be my comment. We will get into the economic data. Before we do so, let's go into Ethereum. Benjamin Cohen mentioned that he thinks Ethereum will correct down to its bull bear market support band. He says, quote unquote, I think Ethereum will drop to its 21-week EMA, the bull and bear market support band, within the next 4 to 6 weeks, regardless of what Bitcoin does, if it pumps or dumps. After Ethereum hits the 21-week EMA, it should then rally to new all-time highs. I think we're about to witness the final rotation into Bitcoin this market cycle. I'm paying a lot of attention into what Benjamin Cohen is saying because he's predicted Ethereum since he was on this channel to Ethereum coming home and then bouncing, and like he's predicted it on point. So whatever Benjamin Cohen says, I listen. And I agree with him. I think Ethereum can see a drop. He expects the final rotation of capital into Bitcoin as we go ahead and make, you know, the final all-time high for Bitcoin in the cycle and then go into the bear market. He thinks that as capital rotates, then obviously Ethereum and potentially other altcoins will bleed before altcoin season, maybe after October. That's that's the TLDR behind his analysis. I think Ethereum will drop. I've been saying that for a while now. And I think 4K is a very important level of support for Ethereum. It's going to be a level where I'm going to be buying Ethereum. Then you have the liquidity supports at the 3.9 level. We have a limit order to buy Ethereum at 3.9 from a derivatives perspective. We have the huge RSI bearish divergence. I think that's going to still play out. And then Benjamin Cohen says that we will hit the bull and bear market support band, and that is currently sitting at 3.4. Will we come down all the way to 3.4? It would be pretty good. I can't lie. Like it would be pretty good. That's also very good support on price action. So let's see. I'm not the most of bulls for Ethereum in the short term. Long term, I think we can go to $8,000. So within this dip, I'm going to be buying as much Ethereum as possible. That's the TLDR. We will go into the economic data. Let's finish altcoins first because we got into them already. So there is now a company called Clean Core Solutions converting to become the first ever Dogecoin treasury company in partnership with the House of Doge, and the stock immediately plummeted 59%. If you're curious on why that happened, it's just terrible timing. If you did this when Doge was on its massive upwards trajectory to $1, which I still think is possible, then that likely wouldn't have happened. But it's just horrible timing. Why would you do this in Ethereum Bitcoin season? I think we're not going to see what happened in the previous cycle, sadly for altcoins and for Dogecoin, but I still think that Dogecoin will do respectively well. And if these guys had done the treasury in the appropriate time, I don't think their stock would have plummeted 50 or so percent. Tomorrow, Ondo Finance is beginning its tokenization of stocks and ETFs live on Ethereum. That's great. I want you to understand that tokenized stocks, if you buy a tokenized stock, you're not going to actually own the stock. Tokenized stock is very similar to an ETF in the way that it tracks the price of the underlying asset, but it doesn't give you direct ownership of the shares. So just keep that in mind. It's just a good vehicle for crypto people to invest and divest into the traditional market. Is that going to have any sort of positive impact onto the Ondo price? Unlikely, I would say. But I like how this chart is looking. W formation, Then you have the sort of consolidation. I like it. I think Ondo is a good I mean, I think it's a good project from all the projects that I'm looking at: Solana, Ondo Finance, Chainlink, Litecoin even. Like, these are good projects to be accumulating and getting ready for altcoin season. That's what I'm personally doing. Of course, always do what you want to do financially. This is probably going to be one of your sources of research, but always come to your own conclusions. Very important. It's just, that's what I'm doing. I'm buying Chainlink and Ondo and BNBs and Solanas as much as I can until altcoin season, because I still think that they're cheap. The most important altcoin of all in this week specifically is World Liberty Financial, which, as you can see, isn't doing so well. Funnily enough, we could be seeing a W formation there on WLFI. Not that I'm going to buy into it ever, but I just wanted to give you an update. Nate Garassi posted the following: crypto now, biggest portion of Trump's family's paper net worth. Trump family amasses $5 billion in fortune after crypto launch, says the Wall Street Journal. I think it's safe to say they've made good money from our industry, and that's where I'm going to leave it. California Governor Gavin Newsom is also expected to be the candidates for the Democrats in the upcoming presidential election. Mentioned that they will launch a meme coin. I hope he was satire. I think he was just making fun of President Trump's meme coin. But you never know. You never know. It could also be non-satire. I don't understand what the world has become, guys and girls, at this point in time. But yep, it's I just care about altcoin season. Does this mean we get altcoin season? No. So yeah, bad for crypto. Bad for crypto. The XRP ETF approval odds have jumped to 87% on Polymarkets. Nate Garassi thinks it's as close to 100% probability that we get those ETFs. And ETFs in general now own 7% of the total Bitcoin supply, or the final Bitcoin supply, and Saylor himself owns 3% of the Bitcoin supply. The new Saylor Tracker website, I was about to say, looks so cool. Definitely check it out. I love it. He bought more Bitcoin today. $400 or so million worth of Bitcoin. Was it 110? No, that's the average purchase price. Yeah, $449 million of Bitcoin he purchased on Sunday. Pretty damn cool. I like this website a lot. I love it. I think they've done a pretty good job. You can check it out, sailortracker.com. Guys, if you want to meet me before we go into the economic data and wrap up this video, I will be speaking in Dubai, October 28th to the 29th at the Blockchain Live Forum, as always, Dubai. So if you want to listen to what I have to say, then you can see me in real life in October, Blockchain Live 2025 Forum. Before we end off, we got the ISM jobs, or the ISM data. It's not doing so well, but even though that is the case, the probability of a Fed rate cut has jumped to 91.8%. The 17th of September will be volatile, but I don't expect any massive price bump, because the only sort of massive shock to the market would be if they don't cut rates. But if they do cut rates, I think it's even likely we see a dump, because we've priced in this 25 basis point cut like insane. So when it does happen, or if it does happen, I think we'll see a dump. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. With that said, have a wonderful rest of your evening, afternoon, morning, depending on where you live in the world. But I'll see you all in 24 hours time, plus or minus. So guys, take care, and as always, bye-bye.